Welcome back. Let's talk a little bit of football. It's no longer news that the Super Eagles coach, or former Super Eagles coach, Sunday Olise, has resigned after 8 months in charge. The 41-year-old former international cited contract violations, unpaid wages, and lack of support from the country's football administrators. But I understand he also resigned just after he got paid his unpaid wages. He endured a
Good
turbulent...
timing.
Good timing?
Good timing.
Some say his reign was turbulent after he succeeded Stephen Keshi in July 2015. Two high-profile players, including goalkeeper Vincent Enyama, Nigeria's most capped player and striker Emmanuel Emenike, announced their retirement from international football. Early this month, Sandolisa posted an 8-minute video ranting on his own website to hit back at what he called the insanity of his critics. The coach later apologized for his outburst aimed at the Nigerian media as well as some of his former international teammates. Was it all on Sunday Olise's side? Was there a role played by the administrators of football in Nigeria? Indeed, what is the state of football globally? There's a new FIFA president. Would there be a change in the run of things? Lera we're not talking tennis, so Lera, she's getting quiet. If we're talking tennis now, Lera will be...
Very animated. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so it's my turn to be animated.
Oh, please. Enjoy
By
yourself.
all means, right? Okay, but don't worry. I'm not the one talking here. So we have Chris Obiako, a football administrator. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Tonte Davis and Telema Davis. They're always together. So who's Tonte, who's Telema?
Yeah,
Tonte Davis is on the other side. And this is Telema you're seeing on your screen. So you're welcome.
And who is the older?
Oh, well, I came out first.
By how many minutes or seconds?
That I've not retained in memory.
Okay.
Just flow with the concept of being twins.
Okay.
And you enjoy it, right?
It's good. It's fun. It's
Yeah, and it's also fun that you have the same interests. Does that have anything to do with being identical twins as well?
Not exactly.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sure there are other things where you don't have similar, other aspects of you that one has interest in A and the other one has interest in the exact opposite.
Yes.
But with football, you're on the same page.
Let us football, sports generally. Where the understanding of the impact sports can have in the lives of an individual, in the case of an athlete, and also in the society or community, in the case of maybe states, local governments, or the country.
Okay, Salama, let's begin with Sunday Olise's issues.
Okay.
I know you're an analyst, but we'll come to the administrator in a bit. Let's begin with the analysis. Look at the issues he talked about. Contract violation, unpaid wages, and lack of support. What's your take?
Well, it's quite upsetting, so to speak, that at this point in time, while we're actually preparing for our game against Egypt in a couple of weeks to come, we have all this springing up at this moment. From Sondelisa's end, you know, interestingly, we were in a chat with him 2 days ago before he made his decision yesterday, and he acknowledged how he was keen on seeing through this assignment, and how even this weekend he was meant to make visits to certain players, key players he considered them in Europe, to ensure he gets their involvement and participation in the national team for the game against Egypt. So when he came out with this resignation yesterday, it was indeed a shocker. There is definitely a lot that has passed under which he can no longer stand, he can no longer bear. He is someone who is, quite all right, very volatile. He is not one who would really stand.
Fools.
You know, he wouldn't stand or condone certain things. You know, and given the background and environment, the way he's engaged over time with the West, that in itself has played a factor as to how he perceives things. Now we understand the fact that yes, like he rightly said, he wants to serve the nation, but that in itself should not take away the fact that there are certain things that were promised from the outset when the contract was signed and have not been made available, or were not made available for him to execute the job or the assignment at hand properly. So those things constituted, that much angst within him as to, come, this is exactly what you told me to do. I've been assigned this. This is what I'm willing to do. But the incentives, the packages to ensure that this is done and executed have not been made available.
Okay, Mr. Biako, you're an administrator. Unpaid wages and lack of support from the authorities. Do you think he was actually set up to fail?
Yeah, if you look at Olise, right from the time he was a player for the national team, the Super Eagles, and he rose to become the captain of the national team. You look at his antecedent as somebody who doesn't take anything that you throw at him, you throw at him, sorry. You see, and before you employ him, if you don't like those qualities in him, these are one of the things that we lack in this country. Before you appoint somebody, you look at his background, look at his qualities. If it's somebody that is not competent or somebody that you don't like, the way he behaves, you don't do that in the first place. That is a starting point. Now, if you look at modern football is not about just picking 11 players and pushing them to go inside the field and play. Modern football is about preparation. It's about, motivation. It is about having the facilities to, make these players give you their best. It is about insurance that these players, are they coming to play and get injured and nobody attends to them? There are so many components. And if these things are not in place, you can never succeed. And Olise being the person he is, people are going about saying all kinds of things about him. What of the people who employed him? Before you employed him, this is a guy who was coaching 4th division teams in Belgium, a guy who has never been involved in African politics. Because if you are talking about African politics, you talk about politicians who are given certain jobs to do as sportsmen. From the day they were born, they had nothing to do with sports. They had nothing to do with sports. And after, when they are 60 years or say 65 years, you bring them in as sports minister. What do you expect them to do? They start learning the ropes. And when they start learning the ropes, it becomes difficult for them to be able to adjust to all what is happening. They cannot be able to interpret the rules. I'm sorry to say this, but if you call our sports minister and ask him about FIFA laws of the game, he doesn't know them. I'm telling you authoritatively.
Because but the sports minister is not the minister of football.
I'm coming, my brother. We have to look at these things. We have a fundamental problem in our football. It's not about Olise. If Olise goes, you give it to Siasia and Amunike and Aloy, Ago and Salisu. At the end of the day, would they be paid their salaries? Would you provide field for the players to train? As we talk, we have only 3 grass pitches in Nigeria. I say, who? Quote me. 3 grass pitches. You have one in Calabar, in Uyo, that Governor Abio built, You have one in Kaduna. You have one in Port Harcourt. These are not...
What happened to the Calabar field? Is it not grass?
You see, we are talking about grass pitches. In Brazil, for instance,
what about Lagos?
Well, there is no grass pitch in Lagos. Quote me.
You mentioned Calabar.
Yeah.
That's a grass field. That makes it 4.
No. Calabar, the Calabar field is not up to the standard of the kind of field you have at Uyo presently.
Okay.
You have a grass pitch at Abuja.